because we don't have much time, there are many dimensions to all of this. The economic angle is one of the issues that we should be on the lookout for. What's happening between Russia and US will obviously trickle down to developing countries like Ghana. Here we are, not in so much of a favorable economic position. And government says it needs funds in a very dire manner just to grow the economy. E-levy has been on the agenda. Today we are hearing of what the Supreme Court has said. What was your reaction, your first reaction when you heard of the developments from the Supreme Court?
So before I come to that, I think that the immediate matter that must be of concern to all of us is these students we are evacuating, we are bringing out of harm's way. What happens to their education? Put yourself in their shoes. 6 years of investment, 5 years of investment, 4 years. And it's not easy to pay these fees. They are paying fees as international students. It's not less than $4,000 a year.
The Deputy Foreign Minister tells me that there's a plan in place to deal with that. He's on record to have said that on this platform.
Yes, it's just a plan. Look, what is preventing our country as we speak? The Bulgarians, these are not their nationals, but the Bulgarians have already met their universities. They've made an offer that they are willing to have our students transfer their credits to their universities. The Hungarians have made an offer. I have seen an ad from the Canadians. What is holding us back that our universities, our medical schools, cannot make an offer? It's probably one of the reasons why we are even struggling to get these students to accept the evacuation offers and come here. I think that as a matter of urgency, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration should be meeting with the universities, both public and private universities, to offer a special dispensation for these students, particularly those who are in final year, 5th year, 4th year, so that they can have them, transfer credit, graduate. Because we need these doctors. Look at where we are with our doctor to civilian ratio. We need them. And that really bothers me. It gives me sleepless nights. I think that we should pay attention to that very urgently. Now, on the matter to do with the Supreme Court decision today, you see, all of us should know, and when I say all of us, I mean all key actors in this dispensation. We are in uncharted waters. We've never been where we are in the history of our democracy. This is the first time we have a hung parliament. The first time we have a speaker who is not from the president's party. Posterity, researchers, the generations coming after us, they would definitely study all our actions, all the things we are doing. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, will we be proud of our actions? When we were confronted with this hung parliament, these uncharted waters, when history beckoned, how did we conduct ourselves? Did we help to make matters better, to ease tensions, to rally the nation, to bring everybody together? Or we conducted ourselves driven by petty partisanship, narrow-mindedness, that led us into the ditch?
But you're a member of parliament. You know the reactions coming through, that you, the MPs, are culpable in that regard.
That is what we should...
But you've heard that a lot of times.
I keep hearing that. And I'm only telling you what guides me. We are all part of this history making. I want to look back 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, and be proud of the decisions that I took. And I hope that all of us taking decisions, whether you are in the judiciary, whether you are in the executive, whether you are in the legislature, all of us, let's be mindful. Because when I see a constitutional provision, Article 102, which is so clear, Article 102.
On the quorum.
On quorum. And Article 102 says, a quorum of parliament, apart from the person presiding, shall be 1/3 of all the members of parliament. Apart from the person presiding, shall be 1/3. This is the supreme law of the land. The Constitution of Ghana. What this means is that that decision that was taken, presided by the Honorable Joe Osewusu, that the 2022 budget has been approved, They didn't have the quorum because he cannot add himself to quorum. This is so express. It's so clear. So I'm waiting like every Ghanaian for the judgment. We will read it and see how did they circumvent this. Or do we have a situation where the Supreme Court is now legislating, is now writing the Constitution? We all know that the Supreme Court interprets. It cannot create new laws. We are also now hearing that portions of our standing orders have been struck down as we wait for the judgment. The fundamental question, therefore, is that if you have to strike down portions of these standing orders to come to the conclusion that you have come to, should this decision take retrospective effect? Shouldn't you then say that, okay, so since these were the laws, these were the standing orders at the time you took the decision, that decision cannot therefore be a decision that you can consider constitutional or legal. But it cannot hold. So we are waiting for the judgment. Look, I have enormous respect for the institutions of this country, enormous respect for people on the bench. I am not one who will, as it were, question the integrity of anybody. All I am saying is that people will come and interrogate.
Posterity will judge. I guess that's the point.
They will assess all of us, how we are conducting ourselves.
But the minority in Parliament, you are a member of the minority as well. You are linking all of the happenings now to the controversial subject of the e-levy. Is this not far-fetched, particularly when we know that the Supreme Court is there to do its work? Why would you then link the judiciary to what's happening in Parliament? These are two separate matters, isn't it?
Look, all of what is happening, it's about the numbers not being adequate for those in power. Do you know that as we speak now, in reality, we, the NDC caucus, are the majority group? In reality, we are the majority group. Our colleagues who, on paper, claim to be the majority group because they have the independent members saying he will vote for them, they are in the minority. You don't have one of, and I wish the Honorable Kojo a speedy recovery. He's a good friend. I want him to come quickly to the House. But he's not available. We all can get sick. He's not available. The Honorable Ajosafo is not available. So you are shy of 2. You are 136, we are 137. All our members are intact. How long are you going to be playing the numbers game? And how long are you going to be trying to, undermine the Constitution, the laws, twist things,
but where's the evidence? But where's the evidence to back the twisting that you're claiming?
Mutilate and all of that.
Where's the evidence to back that? That's what you're failing to provide. But you're not providing that as minority.
Can't you see, Claire,
what's the evidence to back that there is a compromise on the part of the judiciary just to push through a number of things? But at least we know that that is what your leader says. Your leader says this is the judiciary supporting the executive's e-levy. He was categorical on that. We played that here.
Yes. Look, you cannot take the minority leader's right to prefer his opinion on matters.
He was speaking as your leader.
Yes.
You're a member of the minority.
Yes.
You distance from what he was saying?
Have I said that?
Well, but at least he's made the point on behalf of the minority. That we know is your leader. He spoke it. That there is a connection between what's happening in Parliament and the e-levy.
Look,
what's your evidence to back that?
Can't you see, my brother, that look, the path that President Akufo-Addo has adopted, look, if I was president, there's a hung parliament, there's a speaker who's not from my party, it's clear that Ghanaians have voted for power sharing. My approach will be different. I will not come with this same age-old winner-takes-all mentality. I will build consensus. I will try to have a win-win situation. We have been in government before. We know that raising revenue is important. We have always had alternatives. We have said, cut down expenditure. You know the crusade have been how I have struggled to get the president to stop these chartered jets. It was only yesterday that he flew commercial.
You're hoping he will continue?
And I had to commend him. I'm hoping he continues. At least yesterday, he saved us 3.3 million Ghana cedis. Look, if you put all of these chartered aircrafts together, from May up to this point, Ghana has lost 25 million cedis. By conservative estimates, 25 million Ghana cedis. Imagine what 25 million Ghana cedis can do. So if you have...
How do you even get the figures? How do you do the calculation? How do you do the breakdown to arrive at these figures? How do we know that this is not something you are cooking up in your office?
Why will I cook? Have they been able to challenge anything I put out? Why will I cook? Look, the aviation industry is such a transparent industry. I always have my way of contacting the people, the company, Global Jet Luxembourg, and I will ask them, I need a quote. When I see the president's travel itinerary, I know what to ask them. So I want to travel from Accra to Brussels, to London, to Hamburg, to Guyana, back to Accra. How much will you charge me? The people are doing business. They are happy that they have been contacted by some person who has the means.
You should have tried one to Romania at least.
You
should have tried one to Romania just to be sure.
And you get your quote.
Just to be sure.
And you know that recently I received information because I'm in touch with them. I received information that hey, you are one of those who have been showing interest in the LX3.3m, our most luxurious, aircraft. It's no longer $14,000 an hour. You've seen all the global economic conditions. Fuel prices have skyrocketed through the roof. And it's now $18,000 an hour. So, I mean, can you imagine? $18,000 an hour. That's what it is now. So, look, I do my checks. I do my due diligence. Since I started this in May, not one expose has been contradicted or challenged. Not one. When the president used the ACJ 320neo, that was from a different company called Aviation Acropolis. I put out all those details. I contacted them. You look, parliamentary oversight is sometimes it's like the work of an underground journalist or an investigative journalist, an undercover journalist who must, as it were, find ways. Because you have an executive that refuses to be transparent, refuses to be accountable. I filed a question for the defense minister. He came and tried to obfuscate. The finance minister came and said, I don't have, as of me, I only release money to the presidency. I don't know what they do with it. He chickened out. But when we asked him a question on free SHS, that one, though he releases money to the Ministry of Education, he had all the details. How much is sent to which number of secondary schools, how many students benefit. Also, that one, he had it. But he didn't have answers on the presidential charters. So fine. I then asked the National Security Minister. After many, many weeks, he comes and tells us that it's a national security matter. As I sit here as a member of parliament in the Republic of Ghana, I know the cost of flying Air Force One. US congressmen, they know. They even check, that with the United States of America, there's a presidential travel policy.
So that's transparency.
When you fly Air Force One and use it for unofficial business, you are made to reimburse. This is the world's wealthiest country.
And the latest development we're getting on this is that some persons have tried the route of using the RTI. Will you support that move? And
Absolutely.
are you going to use that as well as a member of parliament?
Absolutely. They have contacted me. Indeed, the Honorable Manasseh Azuri has also tried that route. He hit a snag. They told him that it's a national security matter, and so they won't give him the answer.
So you're trying that as well?
So I have even considered, going to court and all of that. So it's not a matter that is ending. Remember,
you may go to court.
Yes.
You may go to court on the that's how serious you are about
this? Yes, very serious. Remember that my colleagues and I have also filed a private member's motion. We want to know what, first of all, warranted this reckless expenditure, this insensitive decision, and how much it has cost us in total. Because you see, I get the quote from the company, but the company always, if you become my very good friend, I'll show you some of the communication from the company. They always put there a disclaimer that this is not the total cost. This is what we will collect from you, but prepare to pay for example, parking. If you are going to land in Gatwick Airport,
you need to pay.
You pay Gatwick separate. Gatwick will charge you $12,000 just for parking. Then every hour, you pay Gatwick separate. Then there are other taxes that you pay. If you are going to keep the 7-member crew, the pilot and the crew, there are 2 pilots, their hotel bills, their per diem, it's all separate.
But some of
when I hear people keep asking that, but Honorable Okudzeto, you seem to know the figures. You are putting figures out. So why are you asking government? It's because of this. There are other incidentals. I'm only putting out the quote from the company, if you charter the aircraft. But that is not all. There are other incidentals. And that is why we are interested in the full cost. Because, you see, every parliament, the constitution is clear. That is why when they come to parliament to seek approval for budgetary expenses for an ensuing year, they must first justify the amount of money we released to them for the previous year. How did they spend it? That is why we have always known the cost of presidential travel. 2019, we knew it was 69 million from January to September. Suddenly, we are told that presidential travel is a national security matter we cannot know as a parliament. Just because you have been exposed. They didn't expect us to just catch them pants down red-handed, engaging in such reckless profligacy.
Right. So if that fails, you'll be going to court as your indication.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, posterity will not forgive us, particularly me as ranking member, that I was ranking member when for the first time in the history of this country, this is our 4th presidential jet,
right?
The Falcon. We've had a DH-125 under Nkrumah. We've had Fokker 28 from Achampong to Rawlins. Then Rawlins bought the Gulfstream GIII.
Right.
This is the first time that a president has a presidential jet and decides to go and do ultra-luxury charters. It's never happened. And as ranking member, you were quiet. You allowed this to go through. These millions of Ghana cedis was blown. You didn't make it an issue. I mean, when it is raised, when posterity asks me questions, how do you think I'll come across?
Well, so that's on the executive side, but